I just got done watching a 2 hour video of that nigga Vendrick. Just so I can make sure my thoughts are clear and that I won't be too crazy when I talk my shit. All right. So, yes, Vendrick has feats. Them feats are good. Don't get me wrong. Them feats are good. I think Vendrick is probably our strongest king yet. Like in all the series. I'm gonna give him that title. Vendrick was the strongest king in the entire series. Like that is undisputable. But you can be a bum ass, fraudy ass nigga and still have feats like that. Just so you know. Because we're gonna get into this shit. So let's go back to one of those feats. The Giants. You know, he went and put straight belt to them niggas. No hesitation. His wife was like, speaking of his wife, Lysandra and all that, like he found that bitch in a code and he brought her in and she's talking about the Giants are pretty dangerous. We should probably do something about them. Let's look into that a little bit. Cause what do you mean this random bitch? She was bad. She was bad to him. And the first thing you do for her is take an order talking about, yeah, let's go. Let's go slide those giant niggas. They must be doing bad. Right? All right. So that's immediate racism right there. Cause you just doing anything. That's like that nigga is an eater. All right. He automatically loses points for me for eating that hard for a bitch. Cause there's no reason you should be putting niggas to almost pure eradication because a bitch told you to. All right. But we're gonna go past that. But yeah, the Giants. He only did that because he simply was told that they were dangerous, and he just acted out before they even fucking got the full details on the Giants and their fucking nature. All right. But let's get to the main point I want to talk about. Why I think Vendrick is a fucking fraud. All right. If we look into him, Vendrick's entire thing was power is king. If you're strong, strength is all you should seek, my nigga. Seek strength. That is how you live good life. Go seek strength and fucking conquer the fucking world. That's what that nigga was all about. That's why he has 10 kingdoms under his belt. 10 fucking kingdoms. You know, I can't sit there in front. That's tough as shit. That nigga just wanted power. And he was trying to give these niggas that mentality. Because after he conquered them, he said, y'all can practice our religion you want. I don't care what you do. Just know you got your ass beat by me. You know, I rule over you. And he was chill as shit with these kingdoms. Like he wasn't he wasn't on some crazy time. And then he met Lysandra. Now tell me why he meet Lysandra and then he started killing niggas for fun. I'm sorry, he started killing niggas for a bitch. What do you mean you met Lysandra and that's when you start swinging on niggas because you think they're bad? That's a point deduction. That's a lame ass nigga mentality right there. All right. He beat the Giants to near eradication, my nigga. Near eradication. And on the run back, when the Giants wanted to come and fight that nigga back, guess where Vendrick was? In the undead crypts, nigga. That's right. I completely forgot. He never even fought the Giant Lord. He never even seen him. He was already in the crypt by the time the Giants came back to get their lick. And that's crazy to me, my nigga. Because you can't even fucking do it yourself. That's another point deduction. You should be swinging on these niggas. Even Gwen, when Gwen threw them hands with them dragons, he made sure personally he wiped them. He went out of the way. They were not safe. He eradicated them niggas. But we're not going to talk about Gwen right now. I'm going to bring him up a couple times throughout this entire thing, but we're not going to like full scale talk about him. But I will be actively comparing Vendrick to Gwyn and his feats. All right. So, on the topic of the whole, he didn't even meet the Giants. Why was he in the crypt? Why did he never face off? What was Vendrick doing that was so important in the crypt? I tell you what he was doing in the crypt. Being a pussy ass bitch. Not in the phrase that he was scared. He was scared of the Giants. No. He gave up. He gave up on life in its entirety. He slid those Giants. Like a little background on the whole thing before I even get to this. Him and his brother Aldia, they were on his researching time. Well, Aldia was. Vendrick was just around to help out with that shit. The whole laboratory, because Vendrick has a Diddy's fucking dungeon in his castle. Let's not forget about that. He has a Diddy section, like a Diddy laboratory where he just did a fuck ton of messed up experiments akin to the Japanese and Unit 731. But we're not going to get too much into that. But Vendrick and his brother were like, why do kingdoms keep falling? Like, some of the kingdoms that he conquered were already fucking gone. Like, were already dust. Like, these are old kingdoms that just had remnants, and he still went around and he killed whoever he had to kill and claimed it as his and rebuilt it from the ground up. Because he's like that. He's like that. He's cool like that. But him and his brother were trying to figure out, why do these niggas keep dying? Why do kingdoms keep coming to an end? What do I gotta do to stop this? And then it hit these niggas. The undead. The undead curse. That's what's killing niggas. How do we stop it, though? Now, here's where we get to why Vendrick's a big-ass bitch. Because he told his wife, and his wife is like, well, maybe you should link the flame so our kingdom doesn't die. She's like that. She said, maybe you should start linking the flame. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and say Vendrick's a bitch for saying what he said. He said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not about to burn myself alive to continue this shit. It's got to be a different way. And, she's suggesting that we use the people of the kingdom. And he was real. He was like, no, I don't think we should do that either. There's got to be a third way. He's like, I don't want the world to succumb to darkness, but I also don't want to burn myself alive. I feel like that's, fuck no, I'm not doing that, nigga, no. And okay, that's real. He's real for that shit. But tell me why, instead of, he knows he wants a third solution. He wants it. So why is the immediate thing that he can think of to do is to give up? His wife clowned the shit out of him, said he was a bitch ass nigga, said all this and all that, and the only thing he can think to do was to give up. He knew he had to kill her too. He knew, because we all know that he eventually figures out who the fuck she actually is. But at the end of the day, he don't got the nutsack to kill her. It's not in his nature to kill her for some fucking reason. He can drive a race to near extinction, but he can't kill the evilest bitch in the universe. He can't kill her though, because he loves her. So, Captain Save-A-Ho buried himself in the undead crypt to lament and do nothing. And that's my fucking issue with that nigga. How are you this strong? How are you this, like, you have so much influence over the entire world. I'm talking that he found metal from the old kingdom, and the first thing he did was like, dude, we gotta replicate this fucking metal. This shit is goated. I'm gonna need everybody in our science department to replicate this metal. And he did that. He did that shit. He didn't do it fully. The metal was still not as good as his originally, but he was able to make it decent enough so that his people had good metal. This nigga went out of his way and got a foreign blacksmith to forge some godly ass armor for his inner circle. The Dragon Riders, those niggas are chumps and bitches that we make fun of. They're actually kind of goated in lore. Like, all their armor is made from some fucking good shit. They got specific personal armor from Vendrick himself. Those were his fucking riders. Those niggas rode Wyverns. They were called dragon riders because he actually rode dragons. I don't know why. I don't think we got a boss fight where they were actually riding on a dragon, which is weird as fuck to me. But regardless, they got to ride dragons. That's why there's fucking dragons in Hyde's fucking keep. Well, they're not dragons, they're Wyverns. That's why there's Wyverns, because Wyverns were made in the factory that his brother, like the little laboratory, Diddy's fucking laboratory that his brother was in. They made two baby Wyverns, which is kind of funny. I didn't know that's where they came from. I just thought they were just around because the whole Dragon Isle shit. But no, they were actually like two babies. Those are all fucking biologically grown Wyverns, which is gross as shit. But regardless, that nigga was able to get that going. He got the ball rolling on everything, bro. Everything. But at the end of the day, when he gets faced with something that he truly has to conquer, that he can't conquer with just his fist, he gave up. He gave up. And I know what you're thinking. Well, of course he gave up, nigga. How he gonna do it? He don't know about the shrines to teleport around and shit to go back in time and get the crowns. He don't know that. Nigga, he could have tried. You feel me? He could have tried. Let's go back to Gwen. What did Gwen do when he told that his fucking tiny divinity was gonna end at some point? Like the fire's gonna go out and he's gonna go back to dying and being a bitch and being a nobody. That nigga got up and he said, hell no, nigga. And he got to researching with his crew. They were like, oh shit, so we just gotta burn niggas? Nigga, Gwen lived 1,000 more years and on. He got so high up off his own clout, this nigga named himself the sun god. Like, let's be so real. Gwen saw there was an end in sight, and he said, fuck all that. He immediately threw his shit on the burner. He threw everybody on the burner. The moment he realized that he can keep his fucking reign going, he threw it on the burner. And let's go as far to see how Legacy carried him, bro. That nigga was able to convince generations, I'm talking eons in the future, that burning people that are undead is the way to fucking life. Everybody thought that was the way. Even Vendrick thought that was the way. Alia and Vendrick literally went over his stuff. Like, hey, there was some people back then that were like just burning undead to keep the fucking fire going and all that shit. This nigga was really like that. Gwen was really like that. His fucking run was so powerful. His fucking manipulation was so good. Even when his name was forgotten in Dark Souls 3, you wanna know what these niggas look to? His words. They don't even know his name in Dark Souls 3. He's literally a forgotten force. He isn't even remembered. He's an unknown force, and they still do his legacies and still try to continue kindling the flame because they feel like that's the right way. That's what my nigga Gwen did. He carved out a legacy of permanent bullshit, all because he wanted to live just a smidgen longer. What did Vendrick do? I know what Vendrick did. He went into that crypt and he died like a bitch. I'm sorry, he hollowed out like a bitch. You wanna know what he says to you when you collect those crowns? Like every time you get a crown, you get unique dialogue. You get unique dialogue from him. He's literally reminiscing on himself. He is literally a shell. He is reminiscing on everything that he done. He's like, damn, I used to be like you. That fire in you, it's familiar. Blah, 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 blah. Like, all he can think about is how, shit, man, you're actually doing something. He's just rambling. He's rambling. It's nonsense on paper, but he's rambling about how you're actually doing something he wanted to do his entire life. I hope in that short moment he realized that he was a bum-ass fraud. And he could have done this exact thing if he would have just locked in with his team and just went and got it done. And also killed his wife. He should have definitely killed his wife. The fact that he couldn't kill his wife is insane to me. Gwen was out here moving crazy. That's why I will never accept someone calling Gwen a bum. That nigga is not a bum. Artorias isn't a bum too, but we're not going to talk about that. That video is complete chumps. Artorias is not a bum. Let that be known. I will literally get on this camera again and rant about how Artorias isn't actually a bum and how this is all from slander and people never researching him. Damn.